And then here
Because we're streaming right now, right, Jim?
the
Yep.
screen is locked. Why? Press power to unlock your device. Screen unlocked. Okay. Okay, and you're recording there, and then we can hit record on the roadcaster, and that'll get your audio too.
Okay.
Just in case. It's always good to have. Okay, and I'll shut this door, and I think you should be set.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, yep. I did get my phone, right? So I think you don't need, not that it's
Yeah.
gonna ring,
But
yeah.
you did it. You
Yeah.
did it. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
yep, and then I'm gonna flip this around so people know you're recording.
Awesome. All right, Jim.
Ugh.
All right. Cool. Thank you for your patience. All right, here we go. All right, welcome.
All right, let's go.
All right, welcome back to another installment of the 94 podcast. I'm joined here with Jim Bushy. I'm Brooke Edel. Really excited to get back to the 94 podcast. Your favorite Minnesota Vikings football team, 4-0. Skull, baby. And I did pay up my bet. I'm a man of my word. My game day Bama shirt. Congrats to you on winning our friendly wager. That was a great game. Before we get into the NFL, let's talk about that game. That was an instant classic.
It was, and seeing Bama go up 30-7 at halftime, I was like, this game's over. What happened to Georgia, Bama? This game's nothing. Next thing I know, it's tied. Georgia takes a lead. Not even 2 plays later, Bama throws a hell of a pass, and the 17-year-old rookie, catches it and drinks for a touchdown to help Bama win the game. That was an amazing game to watch.
What a game to watch! Yeah, Ryan Williams mossed it, and then he did the spin move, and to have the body control to not step out of bounds, and he had both those Georgia defenders on skates, and he housed it, and then he even had time to take out his mouthpiece, and then I think he did like the Dirty Bird dance at the end. I mean, speaking of, I know Georgia, definitely thoughts out to all the hurricane victims of the tropical storm Helene. The toll has reached over 200 people that have passed, both in North Carolina and Georgia, and all up and down the Atlantic coast. Thoughts out to them. But yeah, what a great game in regards to as a distraction to all the fans there. Big Alabama, big Georgia fans. I know that they enjoyed that game, and I don't think it's going to be the last time these two teams match up against each other.
No, not at all. This is going to be a classic SEC final game right there.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I'm already booking it as the SEC championship game. I know Tennessee might have something to say about that. I know Texas might have something to say about that. But I'm sure Georgia definitely wants to get another shot at Alabama. And I think they're going to get
100%.
it. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So Alabama continues this week. They play Vanderbilt. That might be a trap game. And I know Georgia has Auburn, so they might take out some frustration out on Auburn.
I mean, hey, that's why we watch sports. Anyone could beat anyone anytime. It could be a trap game. It could be a game that you're expected to win, and you're going to lose, and the underdog comes through. That's why we watch sports.
Exactly. That's the beauty of sports. It's just it's unscripted. And we know October's unscripted. We got baseball playoffs. Wow, what a great start to October. We're getting that much closer to the sports equinox, where all major sports. But we'll talk about baseball here. Nice little transition for us. We got Detroit and Cleveland. much to the
Going on
dismay.
right now.
Yeah, on right now. Much to the dismay of many Minnesota Twins fans. But hey, the Twins didn't take care of business. Just like my Cubs didn't take care of business. That's why they're sitting at home on the couch watching these games. Mets, they took care of the Milwaukee Brewers, another team that thought they had it. I don't know. I was texting a couple of my friends, and I did text you as well, Jim. That picture of this Brewers fan with a sign that says, "First baby due today. Am I having a ... boy, girl?" And then he has a check, a box next to each item, and then he checks off the playoff win. Talk about counting your eggs before they hatch. Yikes. What a brutal way to go out. Yeah.
You have to have confidence your team's going to win. And that's a power move if they win. If they don't win, you just look like a fool.
A fool.
Like, my goodness.
What a
my.
I mean, it's very jackassery in regards to, like, you missed the birth of your child for a playoff game. I get it's a playoff game, but priorities, right?
So,
like you're bringing in life into this world. Yeah, sir, you can watch the game from the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and on top of it, it was a Pete Alonso like bomb. Like it was a three-run home run to seal it in the top of the ninth. How crushing is that? Oh,
it is. And you see upset. So you saw Detroit upset Houston. You saw KC upset Baltimore. The Mets coming into town, taking game one. Okay, game two, Jackson wins it for the Brewers in game three. They're running high. They get back-to-back bombs, and their closer blows it. My goodness.
Heartbreak City right there for Milwaukee. They really had a strong finish to the season too, and you were expecting maybe that they would be in competition for the NLCS with either the Dodgers and the Phillies, another team that has been talked about throughout the season. But the Mets got hot. They took care of game one, that crucial game one that sets the tone for especially these best of three. So if your team can get hot and the bats stay hot, and you can play some defense in October, you're gonna move on. And the Mets clutch, timely hitting, proved very valuable to the Mets. And then they get to take on their hated rivals in the Philadelphia Phillies later on today.
Oh, yeah.
And, we got Detroit. They were able to dethrone, and they were able to break the streak of 7 straight for the Houston Astros. So, golf clap for the Detroit Tigers. Very nice, very nice, very nice. And they get to face off against Cleveland. They're playing right now.
And they're gonna ask 5-0.
Right, they're getting their tails handed to them right now, 5-0. But hey, maybe they're just still sobering up, after that.
Yeah.
after a couple of wild nights of partying out in Houston. The Royals, what a way for them to take out Baltimore, and Baltimore won the AL East. Excuse me. The Yankees won the AL East. That's why they're playing the Royals. So the Royals, they might be the Grim Reaper here for the AL East rivals, and they take on the Yankees. So I might be predicting the future here, because the Royals, they look really good. They have Bobby Witt Jr., one of the young stars in the game. They still have their catcher, I think Salvador Perez or Salvi. So that's going to be another game that's going to be on the docket. So it's a quadruple header for the start of the NL or the NLDS or the divisional round here.
Divisional round, yes.
Padres, Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani's playoff debut later on tonight. And I don't know if you saw that clip where they asked him, hey, are you going to be nervous for the playoffs? And he has his interpreter next to him because obviously, Japanese is his first language. Clearly, he comes out and he's like, nope. Didn't need the interpreter for that question.
It's another day in the neighborhood.
Exactly. Mr. 50-50. Like, what a season that he's been having. The Padres, though, like, that's another team that's just gotten hot. They took out the Braves. They just swept them 2-0. So, yeah, a lot of great storylines going into the NLDS. I just want to see some good baseball. I don't really have basically any preference, really. I mean, I was rooting for the Braves. Braves are gone. I just want to see a new winner. So that would take the Yankees out of the equation. That would take out the Dodgers. The Dodgers, they won it back in 2020. So I want to see another team. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani, he's going to bring eyeballs to the World Series. So I'm sure baseball, they want to see them in the World Series. Same thing for the Phillies. I think Phillies and Mets, that's going to be a great series. It might be a Subway Series.
Ooh.
That might be intriguing.
I would not be against that.
I would not be against that either. That would definitely be great television. But the Tigers and Cleveland, I think the Guardians. I know it's so hard to think about all the Cleveland teams that and Jose Ramirez still on this team. Like throughout all these trades, all these new look teams. I mean, they changed their name from the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians, and he's still on the same team. So that would be kind of cool to see if Cleveland can make it all the way to the World Series. So there's a couple of dark horse teams. But, yeah, just great day of baseball ahead. Who's your, your favorite team to watch in the playoffs so far?
Anyone but the Yankees. They could go and cry, and I had to hold back and everything because they're my arch rivals. But no, I would like to see. I'd like to see the Mets make it. There's a great underdog story coming in. You win on game 60, 163 basically.
Right.
You get in the playoffs. You avoid a sweep against the Brewers. You were able to just stay hot. I would love to see the Royals move on too.
They're a fun
Detroit,
team.
as much as I would love to see Detroit win, I think the Guardians have the series. So I'm calling each series now. I'm calling Mets shock Phillies, Guardians over Detroit. I'm going to take Dodgers over Padres, and then I'm going to take the Yankees over the Royals. I know I don't like them, but let's be honest. That lineup
tough, yeah.
Yeah. But I think the Guardians can beat the Yankees.
Okay. They've matched up a couple times in the postseason. Yeah, I'm looking at Tigers Guardians. Tigers definitely feel like a Cinderella story, but why not? I'm going Tigers in this series. They might need to get off the mat early in this series because game one is definitely not going their way. Bottom of the second right now, Guardians up 5-rip. Mets Phillies. I could definitely see the Phillies advancing in this series, but like the Mets, they might just have that October magic, man, right now because you just see how the Mets are just able to show up when their team needs it, and I feel like the Mets. I could see the Mets advancing. Royals, Yankees. I got to go with logic here. Yankees, just such a hard place to play and just the playoff experience. Padres, Dodgers. This one, I think, is going to be a little bit closer than a lot of people think. I might go Padres. Just to have a little bit of a different change because it would be nice to see Padres Mets. I mean, we saw that a few years ago when the Padres advanced to play the Dodgers. So I think the Padres are going to be geared up, especially with having their full lineup this time around. I think Tatis, he was out for the suspension last time the Dodgers and Padres faced off against each other. But yeah, just great baseball throughout. And then there's going to be even more baseball throughout the weekend, so definitely stay tuned with all these series. So college football. All right, I got a question for you. As we transition to college football, Travis Hunter, Heisman, is that a reality? Is that a reality? I've been asking a lot of people this, but I want to get your opinion on this, Jim. For Colorado.
Colorado.
I know we haven't talked about Colorado for a little bit on the 94 podcast.
I know. Oh. Possibly.
Okay.
I think we haven't hit the halfway mark yet, I believe.
Okay.
So there's still time. He can improve. I was going to improve.
Okay.
I think he has a better shot than Georgia's quarterback, Beckett, Sam.
Yep.
I don't think he has a good shot. I don't think the Bama quarterback has a good shot. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch towards the end of the year.
Right. And Colin Ewers, he just got replaced by Arch Manning due to injury. So it is a wide open race. A lot of people, on the contrary, they want to say it's just a quarterback trophy, but I was like, hey, Charles Woodson, he did win it. So that's what I say to the people that say it's a quarterback trophy. I'm like, no, brush up on your history. I mean, Devontae Smith, didn't he win it? He's a wide receiver. I'm looking at what Colorado, they're off for a couple. I mean, they're off this week, and then they pick up against Kansas State, and then they have Arizona, which it'd be nice to see him up close in one of these games. But yeah, what he's doing is just amazing in regards to both sides. And I know that there's a lot of controversy in regards to can he do this on the next level. But hey, let's just enjoy this right now. I mean, right now, receiving yards, Travis Hunter has 46 receptions, 561 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Ooh.
So he is definitely making a good case on the offense, and also on defense. He's made some great plays, some big hits, and he did force a fumble against Baylor to. I believe it was Colorado State where he forced that fumble. No, it was Baylor. Excuse me, it was Baylor where they got the Hail Mary, and then in overtime, Travis Hunter was able to force that fumble to win that game. But yeah, like. I also see him as a potential top 5, and kind of reeling it back into this week. A lot of great games. I know Colorado is coming off a beatdown of UCF, and now that they get that week off to gear up for Kansas State and Arizona, it'll be interesting to see how they fare the rest of the way. But like you said, it's early. It's still early.
Yes.
You still got a handful of teams right now. Tennessee's looking good. Tennessee's got great talent. I think they took care of Oklahoma. Their head coach, Josh Heppel, alma mater was Oklahoma, and he kind of called off the dogs a little early. And I don't know, like the SEC has been always a storied conference in regards to like how everything kind of shapes up through that conference. But right now, like it's kind of wide open. You got Texas and Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's got some great play from their quarterback as well. They got some great names here. They got Nico Imaleva as their quarterback. He's got 892 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, and a completion percentage of 75.4. So they definitely are going to be in the running in regards to maybe some Heisman hopefuls coming out of there. But again, like we said, it's wide open. Carson Beck, I don't think he's going to be there because of that huge loss to Alabama. You got to win those games, those big games. It's on your resume. It's like, can you win those big games and those spotlight games? And Georgia already has a black eye on the schedule, but believe me, with their strength of schedule, they're going to get every opportunity to get back to that playoff.
Agreed, 100%.
For sure. So just looking at the top 25, what teams are you kind of saying like, hey, this might be a dark horse team? We got Penn State at number 7 right now. They're in control against UCLA, and then we also have. When we talked about Missouri before the show, Missouri is in trouble right now. Missouri is in misery right now, down 31-0. And Ohio State. That's another team where it's like Ohio State can kind of spring up, but we'll see how they do the rest of the way. And, of course, Alabama's going to be in the mix.
Of course Alabama's going to be in the mix.
Right.
I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to take Iowa State. They're ranked number 16. They're 4-0. They're taking on Baylor at home. It's a 6:30 start time. I think it's going to be a good game. I think they're going to be a dark horse to like sneak into the playoffs this year.
Absolutely.
And then they might surprise people and go on a run.
Very true. Like, yeah, that's a good dark horse team, Iowa State. Like 4-0 at home at Ames. They're going to be at Ames hosting Baylor. That's going to be the game on Fox. So definitely going to be tuning into that one. That's going to be a good matchup to. This is a Big 12, big time Big 12 matchup here. My dark horse, I think I would have to go. No, there's a couple one-loss teams here, but how about this? I'm gonna throw out a team that a lot of people are not even expecting. Indiana. Indiana's 5-0. That's as dark horse as you're gonna get. But yeah, we're going with the teams that no one's really talking about right now. But Indiana 5-0, they're gonna be on the road at that really cool stadium that Northwestern has right by the beach. That's a 2:30 start. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm gonna start the buy sell early because of this.
Sure.
Florida's. This is one of the grind my gears. Florida State.
Oh wow.
You get screwed out of the playoffs last year.
Sure.
You lose to Georgia in the bowl game. Then you go and you lose to Georgia State.
Georgia Tech in Ireland. Yep.
In Ireland. You lose to Boston College.
Yep.
You're 1-4.
And you lose to Memphis too. Right. Oh, it's been a season from hell in regards to Florida State. I can't even put it into words in regards to like what can Florida State salvage from this season. They're going to be hosting Clemson, a hated rival, but with Tommy Bowden, I don't know, like Dabo Swinney had just named Clemson's interim head coach in 2008, replacing Tommy Bowden when he got a phone call from Tommy's dad. So that's like the connection in regards to Florida State's Bobby Bowden. But yeah, like these two teams in regards to just what they can, looking at Florida State's last 5, we mentioned the beatdown by Georgia last year in the bowl game, and then they follow that up. They lose to Georgia Tech to start off the season, and then they lose to BC, Boston College, on Labor Day, and then they follow that up. They lose to Memphis, and then they get their first win against Cal, 14-9, and then they get smoked by SMU. The Ponies smoke them 42-16. I don't even know. Like at this point, like does Mike Norvell does he realize like it's time to see what type of talent you have for next year? Because DJ, I don't know, DJ Ukulele right now, like does he enter the transfer portal? Because I don't know if he's gonna have a starting job. I don't know.
He should.
He should. He's a senior, but like, I guess it is past that point because it was week. It had to be after 4 games, right? You're not allowed to redshirt after 40 games. So this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the last dance. I'm definitely.
So here's,
what's the buy sell?
okay. No. Well, this is. Well, I want your opinion.
Sure.
What about I don't know. I think we talked about it last week. I'm not sure. The UNLV quarterback who the NIL deal, and he decided to redshirt himself. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. That was something that needed to happen because in this day and age of the NIL, he has to protect his investments, and I think he did just sign with the same agency as Patrick Mahomes. So he's gonna get a fat deal, like especially with the publicity that's coming from this. And UNLV, what a black eye on this football program. I don't think they're going to get any more quality players because you promise $100K and you only deliver $3K for moving expenses. I think that might be the end of the Running Rebels run as a football program until they can figure out their accounting, their AP team. So they can actually get these players paid the actual amount, because this is such a this felt like a scene out of a movie where they're just like, we're not gonna pay you, and we don't care.
Yeah.
And even like one of those Las Vegas casinos came out. I think it was Circa Hotel. They were like, hey, we'll pay him $100K, and of course the university is gonna like decline because they're just like they don't they want to stand. This is the hill that they want to die on. But go ahead.
I don't know about you, but I hate NIL. I really do. I understand like the players do need to get paid. They do need, but they're getting a free scholarship. They're already getting paid in attending a big school. Yeah, they're going to play, but they're also given a chance to get a scholarship. But I don't know if you heard this story. I think this was by Nick Saban. I forget where I saw this.
Sure.
But when he was coaching, he would go and have the recruits over there with their mothers, and his wife would take the mothers, go somewhere else,
right?
And she would talk to them about, hey, we're going to develop your son. We're going to make him the best person he can, the best player, make sure he's ready for the next person in life. And ever since NIL happened, and this is what I heard from the story from him, was that like the mothers don't care; they just want the money. So they don't care about developing the kids. They don't want to develop their game. They just want the money.
Right. It becomes who's paying the most, right? It doesn't matter who's got the best coach, who's got the best intentions. It's about dollars, right?
Yeah.
I know the landscape's changed. I hate to break it to you, but like this is what the players wanted. And I know that the cat's out of the bag. Pandora's box is open. We're not going to go back to a world without the NIL. I know that there's some players that will refuse the money and then they'll just go for the education. But I know there'll be still players that are going to be coming in like brand new freshmen in 2025. They're going to be seeking that NIL money because that's just the new reality. I'm kind of mixed on it, but like I know early on there's been like stories where players have screwed over universities. I believe there was a Alabama player that was going to go to Iowa for $100K. He got the $100K. It was like the opposite. He got the $100K from Iowa. So good on Iowa to actually like pay out the promised payout for this student athlete, but then the player kind of ruined it for future, star athletes where he didn't even play it down for Iowa, and then now he's at Alabama, and he's playing in the SEC. So it's like he was gonna get the money, but like, damn, man, that was cold blooded. That was cold blooded. So it does go both ways. Yeah.
I may be crazy because when I played, I didn't have a chance to do that. So
sure.
maybe I'm one of those maybe I'm a little crazy on that.
Maybe, right. If you got a little slice of the pie, you might be like, all right, I'm for this because I can see the benefits. I can see the benefits, right?
Yeah.
I got you. But yeah, like Florida State, what is gonna happen? I think their coach, they might let him finish out the year, but I think they might move on. This could be another spot for a brand new candidate because I think Florida State is a great job. But like the ACC, we'll see because like Dabo Swinney, that's another head coach that maybe he did get passed up by the college football game because he refuses to really utilize the portal. So
Yeah.
I know we're getting heavy on college football, but like we can transition because I know Clemson and Florida State, that's going to be a good game, but it's kind of a clash of like it's almost like a crossroads for both these programs. We'll see what happens in the next few years because I don't think Dabo Swinney is going anywhere.
No. And we could I don't think so. We could transition to the NFL now because I think I mean, Brooke, what the hell happened, man?
What happened? What, the picks?
You went 3-6. Yeah, you went 3-6.
I don't know. I think I got cocky.
Yeah, so just so we can go over the games,
Sure.
we took Georgia, Alabama,
Yep.
obviously.
Right.
Saints, Atlanta with a good comeback right at the end. Young Wei Koo.
Yep.
I mean, that guy, even though he missed a couple in the game last Thursday, very good.
Yep.
You chose
Pro Bowl character.
You chose Saints. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Saints, Atlanta, Cincy, Carolina. We both picked Cincy. They could have lost that game.
They could have lost that game. Right.
easily.
It was not like a no doubt win. Right. They could have lost that game.
Next game, it was Eagles-Tampa Bay, which was a shocker, I think. It was just a full-on stinker for the Eagles.
Yeah, that was bad. Like the Eagles just completely fell apart. Yeah, Baker Mayfield was able to do everything that he wanted to. He was able to find all of his targets, and he didn't get pressure. And then that was kind of like the issue going into that game is just that Baker was not getting enough time, and he was getting sacked, and he was getting hit. Not enough hits for the Eagles to really have an impact. But they're going into the bye week with a lot of questions. Is Nick Sirianni, is he the man for the job? Is Jalen Hurts the man for the job? A lot of questions there.
Thanks for taking a look at these. Like, Brooke, hey, thank you for not starting Baker Mayfield for your fantasy team this week. I know we're playing each other, but thank you for not starting him. That would have been 23 points in the hole.
Oh wow! Hey, CJ Stroud, you gotta dig me out of that hole. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt watching that. I was like, and another touchdown. Thank you again, Baker.
Next team we chose with the Chiefs game. We both chose the Chiefs. Rashid Rice out with torn ACL. Hopefully he gets better. Hopefully he gets better. Everyone hates to see it. Even if it's not the Chiefs, everyone hates to see. No one wants to see a player get hurt.
No, absolutely not. It's just awful to see that. Yeah, I know there's other news about Rashid Rice's mom kind of being a doorstep bandit. We'll let this one go, but like we definitely want to see Rashid Rice come back healthy because he's a huge part of that offense.
And then we chose the game. This game we thought was going to be a fun game to watch, and it turned out to be a blowout. It was the Bills-Ravens. You chose the Ravens. I chose the Bills. Derrick Henry. He looked great.
Oh yeah, Derrick Henry looked like vintage Derrick Henry. That was really fun to watch him. You know, I don't know. All these players, they always have like a favorite team to play against, and I think he just loves getting ready to go against Buffalo. Like he's always had like those iconic moments against Buffalo, and then once he got loose, and I think at that point the floodgates opened for Baltimore, and then they kind of got back into the swing of things where they're able to run the ball, and then that sets up the pass. So I'm really happy how that one turned out because I was like, dang, it was a rough start to that Sunday, and then that kind of helped me kind of get back into it a little bit.
All right, and week 5, as we discussed, Baker Mayfield and the Falcons, it was a fucking excuse me. It was a shootout of a game, 36-30, overtime win. Falcons. I thought that game was over after the Kirk Cousins interception with 1:35 remaining.
Right. Oh, yeah. When we saw Levante David intercept him, I was like, okay, that might be just ball game. And Kirk Cousins said, not so fast, buddy. And it came down to the last second, literally. They were able to get that spike off, and, Koo's able to come in with ice water in his veins, knocks it through, and we go to overtime. What a nice kickoff to week 5, because normally these Thursday night games are duds. That was one of those games where you're just like, all right, I definitely want to stay up and watch this full game play out. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. That was a nice display of offense. I mean, the defenses, they couldn't figure out both quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield and who is on my bench, unfortunately. But I did have Godwin. Godwin could have done a little bit more. But, yeah, we'll take the points where we get them. But, Baker Mayfield and Kirk Cousins had a great quarterbacks duel. And then this was the same night that they retired Matt Ryan in the Falcons Ring of Honor.
Right.
And casually, Kirk Cousins passes him as the all-time Falcons the most passing yards in a game, 509. So, hey, another golf clap for Kirk Cousins. Oh yeah, did you see did you see the what is that? The swing, the serve. Oh my god, dude. That was the most Kirk Cousins thing ever. Oh my god.
Oh my god. You hate to see him not on your team anymore, but he knows how to give you those moments.
He does. He's an entertainer. I'll give him that. He's an entertainer for sure. You like that? He's got everybody saying that in Atlanta. That's hilarious. But yeah, the Falcons 3-2, Bucks 3-2. We can move on to the rest of the Sunday action. Get the Vikings.
Well, we have to start with the early. Brooke, are you going to get up for this game? Early game.
I got to.
Vikings.
I can't miss this game. There's no way. It's London. It's kickoff, bright and early, 8:30. It's going to be at Tottenham, I believe Tottenham Stadium. One of my colleagues is actually going to go to that game with his wife for their 12-year anniversary. So shout out to Carl. So really excited to watch the Vikings go for 5-0 against Aaron Rodgers and New York Jets. As awkward as the Jets have been, it's still Aaron Rodgers. You still got to prepare for him because he is a veteran. He's he might be 40 million years old, but still, you got to get ready for him because he's going to be able to decipher a lot of what you throw at him. He's not going to be like Brock Purdy, where he's going to be a lot of shock and awe on what he's seeing. Brian Flores is going to have his work cut out for him. But I'm really confident in our pass rush to really stifle what the Jets are looking to do. But I know it's still a game that's on neutral. I know it's supposed to be like a home game for the Vikings, but it's still neutral. It's a neutral field still.
Yeah. That sucks because that was the game my uncle and I were talking about. This is the game we want to go see. We were the Vikings are home. Let's go. And they're in London. Damn.
Dang, come on. If they did Houston or San Francisco, that would have been cool if they kind of swapped that out. Yeah. But they did Jets because, Aaron Rodgers, he brings more eyeballs. So I get it. It. But what's your early thoughts in regards to Sam Darnold and his play so far? 4-0. I mean, right now he's looking like an MVP candidate, and it's not a joke.
Knocking on wood. I want to get my hopes up, but knocking on wood.
I'm knocking on wood too. I got it.
When are both teams going to London? I understand that like it's not your typical road game. You're not going in like 2 days before. You're not going in. Like, you had to like take in time zones. Like last year we were watching the game. It was like the Colts went in the day before, and like they were terrible. Like what if you're the head coach of either of these teams? When do you head to London?
I would head out there Wednesday night, get off your flight Thursday morning, just so you have that time to install the game plan, and then Friday go through walkthroughs, and then Saturday would be more of like whatever you need to get done, you get done, and then you just rest the body, just so you know your body clock can get right. I would leave Wednesday night so you can get there for at least 3 days of prep before kickoff on Sunday. Yeah.
I would leave like Monday. Monday, you get there, you get acclimated to the time zone, you get acclimated to the field you're going to be on. You let the players go sightseeing because they're going to want to go see sightseeing with their families if they come.
Go see Big Ben. Yeah.
Yeah. But you give them time to like adjust your bodies to adjust to the time.
Right, that makes sense. I get that perspective. I'm sure the Vikings, like their full staff, getting them all over there. I mean, I know that's a logistics Olympics right there to make sure that you get all the equipment, everything like that you need to have a proper game day, as they would say in England. But yeah, like I think both make sense to me in regards to like you want to treat it like a regular week. You don't want to overhype it in regards to like treating it like a Super Bowl, and you do have the bye week. So and then the really cool thing about this is that they're going to have TJ Hawkinson able to travel with the team. I know that his 21-day window just opened back on, I believe it was Wednesday. I think on Wednesday, that's when he was actually able to step on the practice field and just be part of activities. But yeah, like I think this is just both school of thoughts. I can see that. I would just prefer just leaving a little bit later in the week, just to avoid those distractions. But yeah, you're gonna go see London. I feel like it's always been on the NFL schedule. So some of these players have been to London. So I guess that is the benefit of having a little bit more of a veteran core. So far, the Vikings are undefeated in London. I want to add that into the conversation. I think last time we were out there, again. Last time I was out there was like 2 years ago, and it came down to a Will Lutz doink for us to win. Because like that was either, it was gonna be either we either I don't know whatever it was, but it literally took a missed field goal at the very end to avoid overtime, because it was gonna be overtime, but Justin Jefferson played one of the finer games in his career out there, and he gets up for these big time games because he's the face of the franchise. And like Kevin O'Connell said earlier this week, we have plenty of players that will display to you, especially for all the neutral fans that are going to be attending this game. They might come out of this game with a brand new favorite team. So I hope we are able to just have a great display of Minnesota Vikings football out in London. But yeah, I'm really jacked up for this game because we get to play Aaron Rodgers, and I know last time we played him, he was a Green Bay Packer. So we still got those juices to go, and we're just coming fresh off of a defeat of his former team in Lambeau. So I know that was in your backyard, Jim. So I'm not to look back, but like, how excited are you about this defense going up against Aaron Rodgers?
I'm excited for it, but they cannot let off the gas. That's what they did wrong against the Packers. They looked back into the game. It was closer than it needed to be. If we can keep them at our full strength, we can win this game easily.
Right.
If we relax at all, Rodgers will pick us apart.
Exactly. Cannot give him time. We got to keep the Jets 2 scores, like a 2-score arm length distance. Because I don't want to see a 1-score game going into the fourth quarter, because I feel like that's not where we want to be, especially in a neutral field. You don't want the Jets fans to get into it, because I'm sure they're traveling for this game as much as Vikings fans. But yeah, we definitely want to put doubt in Aaron Rodgers' mind. We want him pouting. We want him to have a towel on his face, where he's just upset with what's happening, rolling his eyes in regards to Robert Saleh. We want to see that. We want to see all the negative body language on the sideline from Aaron Rodgers. And that just lets me know, if you flip it on and you see that, Vikings are probably going to be in a good situation, either up a couple scores or maybe pitching a shutout. I don't know. You never know. You
never know.
We did pitch a shutout early in that first half against Green Bay until that miscue. But that might have been a call from Vegas. For that to happen. I only kid. But Jalen Naylor, we definitely need a bounce back game from him. Because, looking at the positives and also the negatives, the defense, that's a lot of points that we gave up in the second half. We get outscored.
Yeah.
Yeah, 29-3. We get outscored 29-3 in the last 31 minutes of that game.
Oh, yeah. Moving on back to
we're moving on.
Game.
Yep.
I was looking over the schedule, and I hate to say this, but 3 games this week, 3 to 4 games really look interesting this week. I don't know about you. Have you checked the schedule lately?
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule. It was very interesting in regards to some of the games that are coming up. I know that this is the first week of bye weeks, so we have Ravens-Bengals. That's an interesting game. We also have Bills-Texans, another interesting game. And this one is slated as an afternoon game, Packers-Rams. We'll see how that game kind of shakes out. And then Sunday night and Monday night, we got Cowboys, Steelers, Saints, Chiefs. A couple games mixed in, a couple divisional games. We got, Cardinals, Niners, Patriots, Dolphins. A couple of those other Colts, Jaguars. Both these teams are kind of fighting for their seasons right now. But Uncle Joe Flacco has been activated.
That would be good to see. I mean, it just feels weird. There's not a lot of those games where you're just it's a must-watch game. The Bills Texans, that's gonna be a fun game to watch. The Ravens Bengals game, that's always gonna be a fun rivalry to watch. But I mean, you look at all these other games, like the Dolphins Patriots, Jacoby Brissett, the third string for Dolphins. It could be something.
I mean, what they got? Tyler Snoop Huntley starting in the second game. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Miami's favored by 1 point. It's in Foxborough. It's a noon game. I don't know. That game can go either way. I mean, Patriots, if they can get a rushing game, I think they can kind of play bully ball with the Dolphins, because the Dolphins' offense, ever since Tua has exited the lineup, it looks like it's just they can't even move the ball. They just scored their first touchdown late in the fourth quarter against the Titans, and I know last time that I checked, the Titans are not really impressive.
And then you got Commanders, Browns. They just are the Browns.
They're the Browns, right? Well, Nick Chubb might be on his way back. He's another player that just got activated, but yeah, he's not going to be available this week. Browns, they just, I mean, they might need to start with Jameson at some point.
Yeah,
because Watson's
I'm
not really
really
doing
wrong.
it.
Washington, I mean, that's been a shocker. I think they would have
Jalen Daniels, Jaden Daniels, yeah.
My sleeper of the week, Panthers Bears. I think that's actually going to be a fun game to watch.
Okay, Andy Dalton going up against his former team and Caleb Williams. That'd be a good game. It's going to be in Chicago, Soldier Field. Okay.
In Chicago, Chicago's favored by 4 points.
Yep. No,
Broncos Raiders. I mean,
Broncos Raiders. Okay. It's a divisional game. You just kind of almost throw out the records. I mean, both teams are 500. The Raiders are looking to move Devontae Adams. Well, that'll be interesting to see what develops there. But Gardner Minshew reminds me of an undercover Baker Mayfield with less talent.
Yeah.
And to add on to a little bit more of the savagery, Aiden O'Connell reminds me of what a 4-year-old would try to draw Gardner Minshew from memory.
Oh my god!
But yeah, Broncos, they got Bo Nix, who's he had negative yards. I don't know how the Broncos won last week against the Jets, but they did it. So Bo Nix, salute to you. This will be a tough game to watch if you're a fan of football. The Giants, Seahawks.
I mean, are the Seahawks? Actually, we'll start our start them, sit them. Do you think? Are you going to start? Are you buy or selling Seahawks as a competitive team, or are they frauds?
I'm going to buy them because I think the Lions just caught fire in that game. There's a lot of emotion in that building. They had Calvin Johnson, Megatron, in the building, and they honored him. And then they were wearing those sweet all-black unis. Those were fire. They were really nice. I'm buying on the Seahawks the rest of the season. They got a defense that has a lot of holes, like Swiss cheese, but they still have DK Metcalf, and they do have Kenneth Walker, and they do have Charbonnet. So, like, I feel like the Seahawks just have one bad game, so I'm not going to hold that against them the rest of the way. But I think the Seahawks, with the 12th man, I think that's gonna be an impact for them to really bounce back this weekend moving forward.
I'm selling. They're frauds. Look at their wins. They won against Bo Nix first game against Denver. They beat the Patriots. They beat? They beat the Dolphins with no Tua, in their offense stunk. And they're playing the Giants. This should be an easy win for them. They're frauds. If they were an actual good team, they would have made that game against Detroit closer and maybe even won that game. But I think they're frauds.
Okay. I mean, I think since they now have Kenneth Walker back, I feel like that's going to help them tremendously, especially on the offensive side and just ball control. Because I think that's what Seattle was missing, is that they were playing outside of their identity, where they need ball control and they need to limit the time that their defense is out there. That's what I'm seeing now. That they actually have their full arsenal of weapons. I think things are gonna look a little different in regards to how they pull up. And I know that they haven't been impressive. I'll give you that. They have not been impressive. But look at them right now. I mean, like, the Rams, not impressive. Niners, they're kind of reeling right now with all the injuries. And the Cardinals, I mean, they're still trying to figure it out. So
Yeah.
Seahawks, they, for me, I think they're gonna have a roller coaster season, but I feel like they're gonna figure it out faster than those
All right.
teams right now. Yeah.
All right, bye, fair.
All right. Buy or sell on the Bengals the rest of the season.
That's a tough one. This game's gonna decide it. And it's not like they're playing bad. I think I'm going to buy the Bengals. I'm gonna buy into them. The Bengals are gonna come back. They're going to get a wild card spot, and they'll make the playoffs that way.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Three from this division is going to make playoffs.
Oh, 3 teams. Yeah. Okay. So that would be the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers. Okay. I could follow that. I know this is definitely a buy low for me. Buy low because they got Joe Burrow. They as long as they have Joe Burrow and they have at least improved rushing attack, and then their rush defense needs to get a lot better. I know tough test to get Derrick Henry this week. but Bengals fans, they shouldn't panic. They still have a chance to right the ship. But I think, with what they have with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, the Bengals are going to be a threat. They lost by a point to Kansas City, so those are some good signs that I'm seeing from Cincinnati. So I'm buying low, but I still believe the Bengals are going to bounce back. This is what they do. They just start slow.
Yeah.
All right.
Buy or sell? C.J. Stroud. He came out last year. He was the rookie of the year. Had all these great stats. Comes out slow. He doesn't seem like his old self. Does he pick it back up for the season, or is it just a sophomore slump?
Okay. All right.
Or was it just a flash in the pan?
Oh, okay. Adding some grease to it. Okay. I love it. All right. Right now, I know C.J. Stroud has what? He's thrown for 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. The one thing I'm not really happy about is the 2 picks. But I am starting him, so I'm buying C.J. Stroud. Now, he hasn't had his running back since week 1, so that's been a big shift without Joe Mixon. But he still has number 12, he has number 1, and then Tank Dell number 3. I am still buying on that, and then with C.J. Stroud, I think he just needs to take a deep breath because I think he's trying to live up to that hype. And I think that's kind of getting in his way of his progressions, where he's not seeing some of these players that are kind of in disguise in that zone, waiting for him to make those throws that they've seen on tape. So that's the thing with the NFL. Once they get tape on you, they know your tendencies. And I know they started 2-0, and then he ran into that buzzsaw, which is the Vikings defense, and they were able to bounce back against Jacksonville last week. But I do see a good opportunity for C.J. Stroud to really prove the doubters wrong against Buffalo, because this is going to be one of those A1 matchups against another franchise quarterback, another MVP candidate type in Josh Allen. I think this is going to be a huge game, and Stephon Diggs is going to get extra juiced up for this game. So I'm buying on C.J. Stroud the rest of the season. I think he just needs to step back and block out the outside noise. I feel like right now he's being kind of a little bit more too conscious of hey, I'm supposed to be the hero. I'm supposed to be the guy. You're in year 2. Give yourself some grace. That would be my word of advice to C.J. Stroud if you're listening to this. Give yourself some grace. I think you're going to be just fine. But, yeah, I feel C.J. Stroud is going to be making plays in this league for a very long time.
I'm gonna buy as well. I mean, I think it's just gonna be a sophomore slump. He'll get through it.
Sure.
It all depends on how he does. Yeah, they're 3-1 right now. He didn't really look like the C.J. Stroud pass, but yeah, he's trying to do way too much.
Okay. All right, this will be my final buy or sell here. Buy or sell on Jordan Love's turnover issues.
Oh. I'm selling. I'm selling that because it's his first game back. He still has the injury he's still dealing with. They could have rushed him back early. He didn't look like he was planting correctly. So I think it was just that one game, yeah. When they're like, yeah.
Okay. I mean, they were down big, so like you kind of throw the game plan out the window. You're down 28 reps.
Yeah.
I'm selling in that as well. I feel like Jordan Love is kind of knocking off a little bit of that rust from Brazil. So yeah, like I'm selling on that. But yeah, if you have any more buy or sell, and then we can get into picks. Oh, okay.
I got one more.
You got one more. Okay.
Buy or sell Gerard Mayo not starting Drake May.
I'm selling on that. Not with this offensive line. You don't want to lose your starting or your franchise quarterback. That's why Jacoby Brissett's taking the hits right now. So he's taking all the hits for the rookie, and for Gerard Mayo, I don't think he's in any danger to lose his job. So it makes no sense for me, from his perspective, to start Drake May until you believe that Jacoby Brissett is not able to physically take a snap.
That's fair, and that's all I have.
Okay. Are you buying on or selling on that?
I'm going to sell. I mean, I don't think his job's in jeopardy yet.
Right.
But we'll see.
We'll see. All right. Off to the picks. All right. Love it. All right. With the first game, are we? We're doing what? 4 games, and if we're the same.
4 total, 2 each, and then if we agree, we'll take a 5th.
Okay. I'll let you go here first, Jim.
Well, we're going to go to bloody England here. We're going to go take up Vikings and go to the Jets.
Yes.
Fine.
Tea time. The bloody Jets.
Vikings. I think they can do it.
Yeah. I gotta go Vikings. Vikings go 5-0. Sam Darnold continues that play. Aaron Jones, could definitely see Aaron Jones. I can see Aaron Jones going for 100 yards easily in this game. I got Vikings. Brian Flores, Kevin O'Connell. They put on a clinic. I got Vikings winning this game 35-20. 35-20.
Nice. All right.
Cool. All right. All right. So we're doing every other. All right. So
we'll do every other.
Cool. All right. The game that I'm picking for us to select: Bills Texans.
Ooh, Bills Texans. I'm going to go. It's going to be tough because it's going to be a revenge game for Diggs, so he's going to want to show off. Buffalo, they don't want to take that loss out of their mouth. But you know what Blue always said?
Pick 'em.
No one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. Give me the Bills!
Give me the Bills. I love that. That's great. I'm going with Stephon Diggs. And I can't talk about CJ Stroud. He is my fantasy quarterback. In the words of Tara Owens, that's my quarterback. So I gotta go with the Texans. This is gonna be one of my favorite games that's gonna come on after the Vikings to definitely tune into. So I got Texans. Let's go, Houston. All right, you're up next.
We're gonna skip the rest of the ones. We're gonna skip the 4:00 game. I'm gonna take Cowboys versus Steelers.
How about them Cowboys? All right. So we got Cowboys Steelers. Who you got? Or do you want me to pick?
You pick. I chose the game. You pick the game.
Sure. This is this is interesting. It's going to be Dak Prescott in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, Mike McCarthy, they did play in the Super Bowl against each other. A lot of people forget that. I'm going Steelers. I feel like Justin Fields and that defense with TJ Watt. I feel like TJ Watt's going to wreck the game for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys defense hasn't been really impressive. I mean, last few games, how many points did they give up?
The last game they played was a Thursday night game against the Giants, and they gave up only field goals.
Right, that's Daniel Jones. I know.
That's true.
Yeah, but the Ravens, they were down 28-6 at some point, and then there was like a late comeback, and then New Orleans was 44 points. Their win to start the season was against Cleveland. So yeah, they're beating the teams that they should beat. But the Steelers have just been really impressive with what they can do on defense, and lately they've gotten their offense in line. So I feel like I'm going Steelers for the fact that I believe that Mike Tomlin is going to be able to outcoach Mike McCarthy in these critical situations. It's going to be a close game, but I got Steelers.
I'm going to agree with you there. If you look at the past couple games, they won the Giants. They beat Cleveland. The defense wasn't that good against the other two teams, against the Ravens. They're prone to choking. I think they're starting a high. They've been off for two games. They just had that mini bye. So I got to go Steelers.
Fair enough. All right, so we got my second game that we're gonna pick here. How about we kind of switch things up here? Cardinals 49ers.
Ooh.
It's gonna be at the Bay.
All the injuries.
All the injuries.
You know what? I'm gonna choose the underdog. Give me Arizona. I think they could pull it off. I think with all the injuries that San Fran has, the defense could hold them. If they could get Marvin Harris Jr. the ball, you see what they could do. And then McBride, their tight end, I think it is.
Oh, yeah,
he's
McBride.
A good quarterback.
No, he's a friendly big target for a quarterback for sure.
I think the only way they don't win is Murray does too much.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. I'm going Niners. I know with, obviously, the scary situation with Christian McCaffrey and, his injury spreading to his second leg. So now it's both legs with the Achilles that is very worrisome in regards to his timetable to come back. But I'm going Brock Purdy in Brocktober. So I got the 49ers. But again, this is a divisional game. So you throw out the records, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is a stud. And I don't know, there's a lot of injuries on the 49ers. So I'm scared picking the 49ers, but I'm going Niners.
All right. I think we have two games where we both agree. I think 2 games to the difference. I have a 5th game.
Okay.
We don't have to do it if you want to. This is my sleeper game of the week. My sleeper pick: Carolina Bears. Give me Carolina.
Oh, okay. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. All right, I'll go Bears. I'll go Bears on this one. I'll go Bears. Caleb Williams, DJ Moore. This is definitely a revenge game for him. And Bryce Young, we'll see if he comes back, because if Andy Dalton has had a series of okay games so far, but we'll see if Bryce Young does come back into the picture, because I remember talking about this before the season started, and this would have been such a juicy matchup to see Bryce Young, last year's number 1 overall pick, against this year's number 1 overall pick. But we won't get it. We'll get Andy Dalton and Caleb Williams. But I got Caleb Williams trying to figure it out for the Chicago Bears. I know the Bears head coach, what was it, Shane Waldron, is not doing him any favors. But I hope that, they figure it out in Chicago. I got Bears, the Bears, winning this game.
Bears.
The Bears. All right, that's it.
And that's my sleeper of the week.
Sleeper of the week. Okay. Yes, that was definitely a good slate of games. I'm excited to watch all the games coming up. I know we got we talked about baseball at the beginning. We talked a little college football. I know hockey is underway. I know we got fights going. We got hockey fights. And we got basketball that just tipped off. So shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They win their first preseason game. I know it doesn't count, but they did beat the Lakers to start. So I'm excited because they do play the Lakers for game 1. So that'll be a cool game to watch. You get to see Anthony Edwards and the new look Timberwolves. And I know you're excited about your Rangers starting as well. So it's all coming together, Jim. It's all coming together.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But this, again, has just been a great installment of the 94 podcast. But until next time, guys, we'll see you at the TOP.
T-O-P.
We're out.
We're out.